Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever time zone you're living in, it's time for Sumud. All about humanity, so this right here for everyone. Uplift, amplify, empower everyone. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever time zone you're living in, it's time for Sumud. Listen, stay tuned, cause it's time for Sumud.
What's going on, y'all? My name is Zach Nunn, and if you know of me at all, you know of me from Living Corporate Podcast proper, as well as the Living Corporate Network. It's interesting. I'm sitting here with Dr. Ed Hasan, who is a professor, a speaker, an educator, a researcher, a consultant, overall dynamic person. I remember sitting down with Dr. Hasan after he wrote a very compelling piece on LinkedIn about the realities of the genocide happening in Gaza and in Palestine, and the oppression of Palestinian peoples, and the experience that employees who are of Palestinian and Muslim descent or background are facing, and the challenges and the otherization that they're experiencing in this season, in this moment. His story, his message gripped me, and it gripped me to the point where I asked him if he would be willing to come on Living Corporate and talk about leaders leading in this moment and what it meant to be culturally aware and sensitive and empathetic to all perspectives, including those who happen to be more brown than others. In this case, Palestine. In this case, Palestinians. I'm honored and excited and thankful that Ed and I have continued our relationship, and I'm excited about this trailer. Ed, why are we here?
Thank you, Zach. So first, I sort of want to give you your flowers here. You were one of the few platforms that gave me the opportunity to speak about Palestine with no conditions. Raw, kept it real, no questions asked. In fact, what many people don't know is you gave me the opportunity to listen to it and not go through it. If I needed to change my mind, you know the risk that I was taking on, obviously, by speaking up. So I wanted to thank you, and it's important that you're here today because you're a big reason for this happening. So thank you so much. But let's be clear, the ultimate motivation here for the podcast is Palestine. For years, being a part of the Palestinian diaspora, many of us felt like we couldn't speak up. We were too scared to speak up. In fact, I would say we were programmed not to speak up because we were afraid to lose our jobs or our family would be hurt or whatever it may be. What's interesting is after October 7th, me being in the DE&I space, and I actually talked about this on the podcast with you, it was heartbreaking because I learned very quickly that it was DE&I except for Palestine. And this was really hurtful because for years I worked behind the scenes to support these individuals across organizations of all marginalized groups. When it was our turn as Palestinians for people to speak up, not many people did it. So this is why we're here today. We're going to uplift, we're going to amplify, and we're going to empower individuals, not only Palestinians, not only Arabs, not only Muslims, but individuals of all marginalized groups. I want to give them the platform. I want to give a voice to the voiceless. And part of the challenge that I'm seeing through everything that's happening is where members of our own community are actually turning against each other, which breaks my heart. So this platform really, at the end of the day, is to humanize these individuals, give them their story. You'll learn the very first episode, for example, is Khalid Beydoun. You're going to learn things about him I guarantee you've never known. His background, why he is who he is. So that's sort of what I want to educate folks on. I want people to give their story. That brings me to the name, Sumud, which means steadfastness, resilience, perseverance for the Palestinian people in the face of struggle and adversity. This is my Sumud.
Sumud Pod is brought to you by Sumud LLC and hosted by Dr. Ed Hasan. Art by Dave Dawkins. Music by Anas Taruk and Wahib Nassan. Listen to us everywhere you listen to podcasts and YouTube at Sumud Pod. Got a question? Send it to us at feedback@sumudpod.com. Thanks for listening. Stay tuned.